Hello and welcome to Magical Travel Adventure. I am here today with two fellow travel agents, Keeley and Haliey. Hi.
Hello.
And I will let them introduce themselves, but we are here today to talk all about all the D23 announcements. So, Keeley, you're up first. What do you want to say about yourself?
My name is Keeley. You can find me anywhere at Keeley's Magical Travels. I am a Disney and Universal focused travel agent that works with Lauren. And yeah, I love everything Disney and Universal, which is why we're here talking about D23.
Yes, I should mention we all work at Carry On the Magic and we love it there. And Cheryl, our agency owner, and Sarah were both just there at D23. Okay, so Haliey,
Very
now
jealous of them.
I know. So Haliey, you are up.
Okay. I am Haliey. You can find me at Adventures by Haliey, TikTok, YouTube, not YouTube. Whoa, where am I going? TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. And I specialize in Disney and Universal vacations as well. I am also starting to book a little bit more Royal Caribbean stuff. So cruising also.
They are fun.
They are.
So, all right. So let's get into it. So I don't know. Does anyone want to explain what D23 is? I'm not sure I can explain it very well, but I could try.
It's kind of a convention that Disney puts on in Anaheim every 2 years. Mm-hmm. This time it was 3 years because COVID and the pandemic and all that. And they announce all of their upcoming projects for the parks, for cruises, for shows, movies, you name it. And it gives people time to, go and cosplay and have fun.
I was going to say cosplay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's definitely like a fan event, I would say. It's not for your once every once in a while trip to Disney World fan, but definitely big fan.
Although I do wish they'd bring it over to Disney World every once in a while.
Alternate or something like the Olympics, like do it like different parks every year or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would get everyone to go to different parks. I'd go to Tokyo for that.
I was gonna say Tokyo, sold.
Yes. All right. So we are going to mostly focus on talking about some of the park announcements, and we don't have any insider information. We can just have fun and make some guesses here. So let's start. Maybe we'll start with Disneyland because that's where it was. And they are talking about a new ride in Avengers Campus.
Yes. Where you can battle King Thanos or something in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Very intrigued to see what this is going to be.
Yeah, and I think part of me is I'm really into the multiverse movies. So I didn't understand that maybe that's not even going to be really a part of it. It's just trying to get other, bringing in different multiverse people. Does that make sense?
I think it's Disney's way of being able to bring things in that aren't necessarily canon or in movies or shows and make rides or attractions for them just to say, well, it's part of the multiverse. It works.
Right. That's like the easy way out.
Yeah. But it's a good way out.
I know.
It's a good way to get us more stuff.
Yeah. And I think, it opens it up that you can just have lots of different characters. And this is very hard to explain, but there is some weird Disney law with Marvel and all this stuff about west of the Mississippi.
Yep.
So we can't do things in Disney World because that's not west of the Mississippi. So it's super weird sometimes. So Disneyland's going to get some of that fun stuff. And I'm just getting into Marvel stuff. So it's kind of interesting trying to learn everything.
It's a lot. Not as much as Star Wars, but I feel like it's definitely right below Star Wars with everything.
Starting to get there.
It is. It really is.
Everything.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up. I can't keep up anymore.
No.
Mm-mm.
But I feel like in Marvel, you can like pick your section and kind of like get into them. Like you could be a Spider-Man fan and that's fine and just watch Spider-Man. So
Oh yeah.
Okay. Disneyland is also getting some new fun nighttime stuff, which I don't have here. So
I think it's updated World of Color or something. It's something, some kind of
Yes.
new version of World of Color.
And then a new fireworks show, I think.
Yes, on the castle. They're doing projections on the castle, on Sleeping Beauty's castle. I can't remember the name of the show, but yeah. It was a new show on the castle.
Wondrous Journeys is what my notes say.
Your notes, I love it.
Haliey has notes. Keeley and I have the internet. So.
I have a webpage pulled up.
Me too.
I also have a tiny laptop screen and don't have the space to do that.
We need to introduce you to Meredith, and she's big on our multi-screen. So we have multi-screens, and right now she's trying out a travel multi-screen because we are such nerds that is something she and I have talked about so much.
Well, she's going to be in Orlando for like a month. She's got plenty of time to check that out.
Yes, she does. So Meredith, if you're watching, I want to know. And if Meredith, if you're watching also Disneyland, I know you're super excited about it. Run Disney is coming back in 2024. So if you are a Run Disney person, you will also be able to do it in Disneyland if you so choose. It's very different, let me tell you. There are streets. There are, because you're in the middle of a city.
Do you go out in like Anaheim proper?
I think there is some parts out there. I can't even remember. I don't know how they're going to do it now. I mean, but I can tell you that if you want to join that, a lot of the Run Disney stuff has been going very quickly. That is something you want to make sure. And of course, you want to make sure you have the right hotel, which a fellow agent, Sarah, came on talking about that, about the good neighbor hotels and stuff like that. So that's good. Okay, Disneyland, they're also getting Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and they're updating Toontown, which I can't really talk about because
no, the last time I was there, it was all boarded up and packed away.
Whenever I think of Toontown, I just think the one that was in Disney World. And that was like my childhood. Yeah, that's the most I have for that.
It looks
that was exciting as a kid. It looks like they're making it more accessible. So like kids in wheelchairs, kids that, they're going to make it easier for people to get around and enjoy it, which is great because the Toontown that I remember in Disney World, I'm sure I didn't think about it at the time because I was, itty bitty, but it was definitely like climbing around things and people with mobility issues couldn't get in.
Yeah, when you walk through their houses, I think it was like that little tiny like line that you would kind of walk through from what I remember. So yeah, it really was not accessible at all. But yeah, so that's good.
And it looks like Runaway Railway is going to be different than
they didn't really say
Disney
if it's
World.
going to be the same story.
Yeah,
so
from the pictures that they show, it looks like it's going to have a little bit of a twist to it. Which be fun.
Yes. All right, I'll try and wrap up Disneyland because we're more Disney World people, but Disney turns 100, I guess, in January of 2023. It's hard to say because Disney likes to celebrate things for longer than most people. So it's going to start in January 2023 and it's going to start in Disneyland. And something that's going to span 2 parks is they are changing Splash Mountain over to Tiana's Bayou, and I don't know the full name.
Bayou
Adventure? Okay. Which isn't going to come till the end of 2024.
Yeah.
So we have some time.
But it looks like it's a great retheme. It looks like it's going to be something that you can enjoy at night, which, I mean, Splash Mountain, you can enjoy it at night, but it looks like this is going to have all sorts of lights and it's going to be fun. And I love Tiana.
I think it's a good thing too, because I love the track of that ride. I love everything about that ride and just the setup. And I like that they're just kind of doing a new overlay, which saves them, you know, they're not spending a bunch of money on having to rebuild the whole thing and shut it down extensively. But, you know, it's allowing them to work with what they already have. And really the theme itself, like the movie's changing, but really it's still going to kind of stay the same, which, you know, I feel like pleases a lot of people because it's still, you know, it's still saying mostly the same, and it's an updated movie. Come on, like who's, you know, everybody knows Princess and the Frog. Like it's always on TV. And it's a good movie.
Song in the South is a little bit of a, it's not quite shown anymore.
Yeah, there's multiple factors to that. Yeah. This is just an updated movie that more people know, and everybody knows Princess and the Frog, like in general. And now it's just, yeah, I'm happy about it.
All right, now we're gonna move over to Disney World, and I know everyone is most excited that Happily Ever After will return in some fashion in 2023.
It's okay.
I thought you were going to start with the Hatbox Ghost.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
I am excited about that, but more excited. Happily Ever After is like at the top of the list. Like that. Oh my god. All my social media exploded when as soon as Josh Tomorrow said that. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
That was a big one. So that's definitely one that I think a lot of people are excited about. And I kind of feel like it like abruptly ended when we got you know, our 50th anniversary shows this year. They did say something about changing Epcot's show too.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of surprised about.
Yeah, I feel like they glossed over it because they kind of like threw that in the tail end of the Happily Ever After comment, and then we're like, oh, we're updating, you know, Harmonious at Epcot or changing Harmonious or the nighttime, however they worded it. And I was like, okay.
For the 100th anniversary of Disney, the company.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the barges will still be out there.
You know what? I was talking to one of my friends about this yesterday, and I was like, I love Harmonious. I do think it's a really good show. Watching it, you know, in the America Pavilion or over like in the right spot of Mexico, like it's a great show and you can see everything. But really, there's only 2 spots around the World Showcase that are good to see the whole show on the barges. They're an eyesore during the day. I don't know, but it's a good show when you can watch it from the spots where you can see everything. It's just you have to camp out, and if you don't get that spot, it's just like, what are these arm things moving? What's the water like spurting out? Like it's, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the barges, but I do like the show. I just wish they could do something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I miss the barges that they brought out for the show.
Yeah,
for Illumination.
Yeah, I was gonna say Illuminations was great. The globe just came out and then it opened up and it was great and it was like exactly temporary. They should just do that with the 30 barges that are out there now. And now I can't get my picture through the Japan Pavilion shooting across. I'm sorry, the China Pavilion shooting across.
It is Japan.
It is Japan.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Second guess.
Dragon.
You're right. Yep.
I do not know the name for that. I'm not gonna try to figure it out
but we all have pictures there.
We do. Everybody does.
But now the barges ruin it.
I know. They did talk about that Tron is actually going to open eventually.
I don't believe it. I quite honestly, they're already writing it. People are already, like Disney execs and stuff like Jack Shamar and it kills me. The Velocicoaster, same. I think they announced Velocicoaster around the same time as Tron. Like it was during 2020, I think. And it's been open for like a year. I think it's been a year, like 2 months ago. And the fact that those two were kind of on the same timeline and it's already been open for like a year, and Tron's just like, they get Tron's a little bit more involved because they have the show building, they have the canopy,
Yeah, but other rides have opened since that, like Mickey and Minnie's like opened. Like,
Yeah.
granted, they didn't have to build everything, but like, come on, like you
Yeah.
had that whole area. Like, we would like to have the train like move eventually in Magic Kingdom.
I miss the train. I miss just being able to like loop. If I don't feel like, well, if I'm back at like the back of the park, I don't.
Mhm.
Jump off the train.
See, I want to walk off my chair.
I usually do too, but sometimes, like if it's like the last day of like an 8-day trip, I'm like, all right, I need all the help I can get. Back up front.
Oh man, my hope, my absolute hope is that they're saying spring of 2023 and that it opens in like February.
That would be good.
Like,
I'm going to be there
they
in
say
February.
spring.
Yeah.
Have you met Disney?
Yeah, it's going to be summer. It's
know,
going to be
but
summer.
It's going to be like May.
No, it's got to be April because I'm going for my birthday.
Okay, so happy medium January. So I can go, you can go. Good. They'll be ahead of schedule.
There we go.
No. Spring, remember, they say spring, they mean like the end of it. So
I don't know why they give seasons. They should just give a year. Just give a year. Don't even give us a season. That's even
just give us a month. Okay. My internet froze for that. So I'm just trying to think of other things that if you guys have anything. Haliey,
I have
anything's from your okay, go, Keeley.
Oh wait, I have one. Wait, and I wore my Figment shirt. Oh, you can't see
that's right.
Because they're doing Figment meet and greets, and I'm so excited. That like behind Happily Ever After, I think that's my favorite announcement. I mean, like it's nothing spectacular. Most people that aren't Disney people are gonna be like, what? Like who? It's like Orange Bird and all that. It's
cute.
Just Disney folks. No, I am really excited about that because I think it's cute, and I feel like a lot of people like our generation and then like even older, like no Figment, and the hardcore Disney fans again, Orange Bird, same thing. It's people that love it. So I'm excited.
And just imagine he's going to give the best hugs. It's going to be so fluffy and chunky. And
they need to put him in his Christmas sweater at Christmas time like they have on the ride, and they need to give him his Christmas sweater, and I will cry if that happens. Like actually cry.
So I'm a little confused on what Figment will look like in a meet and greet because he can't be like bigger than you.
So I saw a picture. I can't remember where I saw it. Of everything that's been posted. And it was him in a costume and was probably like 6 feet tall. And I was, I'm like, cool with it because it's imagination and outside of the Imagination Institute, he's bigger than you. I don't know. Maybe that's the lore.
I mean, it's gonna be the same thing with Disneyland when they changed Pacific Wharf over to San Francisco and they've got Baymax.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a Baymax meet and greet. It's just gonna be a giant fluffy something.
Yeah,
that will be interesting. Yeah, that was another announcement.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
There are some like new Star Wars people that are meeting in Disneyland. I don't know.
So I know
Mando starting in end of November.
Okay, but not at Disney World. So
and that doesn't have the Marvel cutoff.
And I saw something too with that. It's because of Star Cruiser that he's not. I didn't look into it. I'm not Star Warsy.
They don't want to ruin the world.
The timeline, maybe. I think it's the timeline that maybe has to do with it. I don't know.
We'll have to ask.
There's a reason.
Other Sarah. Yeah.
The Star Wars people.
She can maybe break that down for us.
Where's Meredith? Come on, Meredith.
I know, Meredith.
Come up with your 5 screens.
Next, we need to get cell phones that have like the multiple screens that you can put on there, and then I'll be fine. So that's why I struggle with my cell phone so much because I'm like, it's only one screen. I can't do this. Okay. Do we want to get into Blue Sky?
Before we do that, also Moana's Journey of Water is going to be opening at the end of 2023. Sorry.
Which
and she's going to be 16 feet tall to PT.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Very
that's
fun.
right. Yeah,
I still have no idea what this is going to be, but
It-
they seem to be very excited about it.
I don't know if it's like a walkthrough.
I think it's a
situation,
walkthrough.
Yeah,
right? That's
I
what they've
think
always
it
said. It's
is.
not a ride.
Oh,
I think the only part that disappoints me is it just means that there's walls up in Epcot through 2023. And I'm like, can we just like I just want to be able to see, like, and I just want to be able to walk and not hit a wall.
Well, and like all the lands are renamed too. It's like World Nature, World Celebration, and now I'm like, no, it's Future World. And yeah,
I have to have my Epcot map here because it's so like yeah, we should be using the technical terms. But like no one knows that. They know like the countries and the other stuff. Like
stuff,
that's
exactly. I had
People
to
still
look
call
earlier.
Hollywood Studios MGM. It's fine.
It is MGM and Downtown Disney.
No. Don't worry, as travel agents, we really tell you the true thing.
We do.
We tell you the truth.
But we totally understand when you say all the wrong things. We understand what you mean also.
We know it too well.
Okay, so yes, hopefully some Moana stuff, which is a great segue into Blue Sky. And Blue Sky is like, hi, we want to announce something, but we have no idea what we're going to announce. So we're just going to see how the crowd and how everyone reacts the next couple of months, and then we'll tell you what it is. And I really don't even know how to explain this, but something is going to happen in Animal Kingdom, and it looks like Dino Land is, I don't want to say disappearing, but rethemed probably into Zootopia and Kanto and something else.
No, I think it's Zootopia and Moana.
Which I don't understand why Moana. I can get on board with Zootopia.
Yeah.
And I guess because they're animals.
Yeah, but
honestly, the Moana thing makes zero sense.
Probably fit better.
I know, but I guess if you're going to talk about Avatar, like, does that make sense?
I guess because they're animals.
Are they animals? They're avatars.
Okay, but Avatar is basically like Fern Gully with aliens. So it's all about saving the world and keeping
Moana
the environment clean.
Yeah, in water. There's animals in the water.
She has we've already got her area in Epcot.
She is Pua. Okay, so that was my thing. That's also my iffy. Is they're doing this water walkthrough thing in Epcot, and then they're like, oh, and like Moana Land over here, like
keep it in one place.
I like Animal Kingdom because it's not very heavy on the IP. Like Pandora's like really the only IP. Well, in A Bug's Life, it's tough to be a bug, which nobody really knows that one. I mean, but anyway, that's why I like Animal Kingdom because it's not heavy on the IP. It's not like princesses and this and that and this and that. Like you can just kind of go and enjoy it and not have to be this big Disney super fan or whatever. Also, I love Joe Brody, so like anything he does is like fine, do it. Great, phenomenal. But yeah, I think out of everything, Zootopia probably makes the most sense. And like there is so much space at Dinoland. I really didn't think about it until like I went and looked on the map and I was like, oh my God, there is a lot of space. I just don't want them to get rid of Dinosaur. They can do all of that. Just please keep Dinosaur and do not change it. Just leave it as is. Do everything else you want with Triceratops spin and all that. I don't care.
Maybe brighten it up a little bit because there are parts when I'm riding through there, I'm like, is there something here?
Did something pop out at me? I can't tell.
Yeah, like I can't see.
Maybe a refurb, maybe a nice refurb. And then just Zootopia, like we don't need Triceratops spin. And they can move like the who's there, the Chippendale? No, yeah, the Chippendale and their dinosaur. Stay somewhere else.
But it's so odd because they just brought that stuff back. Like they just brought all this stuff back in Dino Land to get rid of it. Like I don't know. I just feel like that.
The second they were done with the tore down Primeval Whirl, I was done.
Yeah, because it was only
and they left it.
Yeah.
That felt very un-Disney of them.
Yeah, because they did that, and then didn't they do that partly during the shutdown too?
I think they started it because people started coming back and were noticing. They're like, why is this all closed off? And
Yeah.
Sneaky Disney.
Okay, they did say something about Encanto, but I don't remember what it was.
Behind
by
Big
Big Thunder.
Thunder, which one railroad, as we've already discussed. And there's the river for the riverboat there. So I don't, and then there's a road, like, and I'm like, and Coco, and what was the other? It was it was Coco and
And Encanto.
Behind
Villains.
it?
And Villains.
And
That's
Villains,
where they,
yeah.
because they started saying, people have been talking about it for years, and I was like, there's no way they're going to announce a fifth gate. Like, they're not going to do it like this. It's going to be a whole separate thing. And they were like, oh no, it's just going to be part of Blue Sky. Like, behind, you walk through Encanto, then Coco, then Villains. And I'm like, behind Big Thunder. So I don't really see, like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Definitely
I
not
will
like
say
a
at first
fleshed out
I thought they
idea.
were, no.
And
At first I thought they were saying they were retheming Big Thunder, and I about threw a fit.
Yep.
Like, do not touch that. No.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. So this is like, because my friend that I was talking to, he had sent this to me because he was like, I don't know like where they're gonna put it, because let's see if it's gonna work. But it's gonna be backwards. But yeah, like they were talking like right here. That's like the riverboat river, and big, like there's not,
unless they fill that part in.
And then what are they gonna do with the riverboat? Because how is that gonna turn around?
I don't know.
I don't know. And the railroad, and just I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all that. I like the ideas of all of it, just not there.
Yeah, it would be odd to see how that would fit between Thunder Mountain and Haunted Mansion, like throwing that all back there like that, and the railroad. Like, I'm afraid what it is going to be is like, it's going to be like this thing that you drive by on the railroad, and it's going to be like, wave to Encanto. It's an hour traveling.
You know what? That'd be funny. That'd be funny just to see it. Just be like, oh, thanks, Josh.
Do you see Bruno?
And now on the riverboat, we're
with the bracelet.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I'm just so afraid it's just gonna be like little like, you know, when you're on the riverboat, like they kind of have scenes in the back. I don't know if it's just gonna be like a scene.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah. I mean, Coco's good for like, or Encanto, like either one at like Epcot, the Mexico Pavilion, like add like another ride in there to take some crowd away from like Frozen and Remy, like really, because those are the really only two rides in World Showcase, right?
Yeah.
Besides like the Circle Vision and
I mean, Cosmic Rewind is verging. But it's not there.
It's not.
It's not like in the country.
Yeah, so because even before that, really in World Showcase, it was only Maelstrom, which then was only Frozen. Then they added, but even I know one of my neighbors was like, "Is the Viking ride still there?" And I was like, "No, Frozen." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I'm not going." I'm like, "Trust me, it took me years to get over it too." But Frozen is a really cute ride. Like I'm still a little upset. The child of my heart's upset, but Frozen is actually really cute. I'm happy with the overlay. But yeah, I think that Coco, that would be a good addition to add, because then you would have two rides. You would have Coco and Encanto, whichever one, and then you would have Frozen right there. So it kind of would keep people right in that.
Yeah, they'd be butting up against each other.
Yeah, and then you have Remy all the way on the other side. But that'll soak up the Skyliner
for the people who start in Canada.
Those people.
I don't know what you all talk about, but I start at France because I'm always coming in the back. So
we've done that now twice, and now I'm like, is this like a new thing? Like there are 3 entrances?
Yes.
I mean there are, but like I feel like that's more popular now because everybody from the Skyliner resorts can come in that way.
Or the boardwalk.
And the board, yeah. Whereas before it was really only boardwalk
people.
Boardwalk,
yeah. Swan and Dolphin. Yeah.
All right. Now, can we move on to DCL?
Ooh.
Or is there anything that you want to? There are other things at Disney World, but
Oh, yeah. I mean, DCL is going to New Zealand and Australia for the first time.
and they're
That'll
getting
be fun.
a new ship called the Disney Treasure.
It actually looks very pretty inside. It's definitely a new atrium design.
Yeah.
I kind of like that they're diverging from the usual.
The front looked exceptionally long and pointy. I have no other way of describing that. But like from like
Oh, you're right.
from being a cruise
Oh,
person,
yeah.
I'm like, what the heck are they doing with the front of this cruise ship? Like it
No, you're
definitely is
right.
distinctive, and I am sure it has to do with whatever. I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was the art or if it was like, is this really what it's going to look like? So I am kind of interested to see that part, and I want to know where it's going to go, obviously.
Well, didn't they say 24 for that? 24, 25?
Yes, 24.
That feels very soon.
They're probably already building it. There's no
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Well, 2024. Yeah, it's probably the end of 2024. Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope the Jasmine statue they're putting inside of it doesn't look like the Cinderella one on the Wish.
I know.
It's going to be flying. They're going to be flying on the carpet.
I just wonder where it's going to
smile right.
I wonder if it's going to go on the West Coast and not the East Coast. Like, I wonder if they're trying, like, so the Wonder is going to be going to Australia and New Zealand. So are they trying to put another one out there?
I bet they move one of the older ones over to the West Coast.
Yeah, they would have to if they're doing that, because
I just don't know who can fit through Panama.
I was going to say, probably the smallest ship.
So it would have to be the Magic? No. Now I can't think of things. For some reason, I've just like...
You guys are the cruise people.
Dream and fantasy. So yeah, it would have to be the Magic. The Magic would have to be the next smallest one with the Wonder. But I don't know if it can get through the Panama Canal.
And would that even be the most effective way? Because at that point, if you're over on the West Coast, because that would add at least 2 days.
Yeah. So the Wonder does that, or has done that in the past. I don't know if it's doing it this year, but like it does Alaska, and then it comes back sometimes through Panama. Well, I mean, you have to come through Panama.
It could go down.
And then it normally comes back up to like New York and stuff like that. But
wow.
I didn't. I don't know. Everything seems a little different this year, so I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so I want to know how big this new ship is, which side it's going to go to. And I want to know if a lot of people are going to do those Australia and New Zealand sailings. Like, I don't know how people would feel about that.
See, I would be apt to do that, I think, because while I don't mind flying, I do fly. That is the biggest thing that's deterred me from doing an Australian trip is the flight. I don't want to do, was it 26 hours on average for the flight, I think. And 8 hours to France was enough for me. Like, I was like done. So yeah, I'm like, because I start to get claustrophobic, and I'm like, we do direct, and I'm just like, ooh. I mean, we're already in Maryland. We're like on the coast, so I feel like if I were to do that and could be on a cruise ship and like could have like slowly get there and have some entertainment, but then I'm like, I would also want to do more than 2 days probably there, 2 or 3 days. Like, I would want to do a full week, and you can't do that with a cruise.
Only if it's doing the crossing, though. If they're just staying around New Zealand and Australia, but you have to fly over there.
Yeah, see, then I'm
bored there.
Or
I would do it, because then you have a chance to explore Australia and New Zealand without actually staying on land with all the things that will kill you.
They're still there. So All right.
You stay on the ship.
So I have very mixed feelings about this. So I've been to New Zealand before. And it's very easy to travel around in New Zealand, and there's like a lot to see. So it's kind of like I'd really have to study the cruise to see what it's like. I don't know. Like if you're staying overnight in ports, I think that that's fine. But if you're not staying overnight in ports, that's a lot of flying time to get over there to just see all these places for a little bit. Because like when I went to New Zealand, oh, they're going to be mad at me. I think I was only on the North Island. I never even went to the South Island. And it's not like a huge country. And I didn't see everything on the North Island. And I was there for like 3.5 weeks.
Oh, geez.
So it's not like I would like to say that I have friends that live there. So I was not like at a hotel. And it was when I was single and did not have a family. But I think that is the only thing. Like Australia and New Zealand, like I feel like those are places that people only go once. I mean, most people, I would say, on a trip like that. So I feel like the only issue I have with the cruising is you just won't get to see as much when you're there. Now, obviously, you could do pre and post stays and stuff like that. But I would be very interested to like research it a little more. I think the ports would make a huge difference, and I think I don't know. It's very interesting, like what they would do if, like the first thing I think about is earthquakes there. Like it's common, not like super common. Like okay, so now I'm going to be in a cruise ship in like an area where like, and like you don't know when it's going to happen. I mean, you can kind of know, but like
it's not like a hurricane,
right?
Yeah, no,
like,
it's not to earthquake season.
Right. Like when I was flying over to New Zealand, they had an earthquake. And then so when I landed, we were in like tsunami warning. And so like for me, like I'm like, okay, I just traveled for like 2 days straight. I got here. Great to see you. Now I'm freaking out.
Wow.
So like that's my reaction. And like I'm a well-traveled person and like whatever. I was with my friends, but like I just it always made me think like how it works cruise wise, doing that and what that would be like. Like, does that mean like, hey, we have to dock here and you all have to get off for like 2 days because there was a huge earthquake? So stuff like that just makes like that's just two things, not just to make people not go, but I think that those are two places that it's very easy to get around. And if you're going to see the land, there's a lot to see. There's some movie that was in New Zealand that people were
some
really
movie.
into. What?
Some movie.
It was like some series. It's like a big series. Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I thought you were kidding. I thought you were being sarcastic.
This is like
Speaking as someone who is keeping up with the new Lord of the Rings show, it's like, oh yeah, she's just teasing. Yeah, Lord of the Rings, the Shire.
I was thinking Game of Thrones, and I was like, no, that was mostly I think Ireland.
I don't even know.
And Croatia.
Game of Thrones. I know it was mostly Ireland because my friend when they were there, because her boyfriend has like family that lives there. And like grandparents, and so they go every year, so they like do all like the fun stuff like that because they stay at they're staying with family.
Yeah, they can.
So they did the Game of Thrones tour. I think it was last year they did that. It was like I'm not even kidding, like a 10-hour bus tour for Game of Thrones. But she said it was really cool, so I was like, you know what, I would add that to my list. So yeah, except Game of Thrones sucked out ended, but that's fine. We're not going to talk about that. That's a holder.
Anywho.
All right, so I think that's a good wrap-up spot for our D23 talk. See, and you got to know us and all that. So Yes. So I will put the link for our agency, Carry on the Magic, for travel agents. So you can see Keeley and Haliey and myself if you'd like to reach out for any help on your next vacation. Obviously, you have found who you liked based on the things that we have knowledge on and talked about during this that have nothing to do with Disney.
Based on our personality. Is this a dating show?
No, but I'm just saying, like, we all clearly have different interests. So, yes. All right. So that will wrap it up. Thank you, ladies, for coming on, and we will see you next time on Magical Travel Adventure. Bye.